Underneath the Pyramid of the Sun and also Great Pyramid at Giza, they have the ability to absorb something called physiostatic electricity from running water. As the water moves under the magnetized granite at the base, it creates physiostatic electricity, which these ions rush up into the pyramid itself, and there it's sent into specific chambers. Once it hits these different chambers, the hypothesis is that in some way, it creates electric power, and in some way it comes out of the apex of these pyramids.
Another way to look at this energy current is from a sonic or musical perspective.
For instance, in Teotihuacan, this way of the dead had waterways that flowed from one level to the other, to the other, to the other, showing very specific relationship between each of these cascades of water to produce very specific musical harmonics across the whole complex.
At Chichen Itza, you see something really amazing. You have the Pyramid of Kukulkan, which is a great temple. And then you also have the Temple of the Warriors, and you have the observatory. These structures were built long before the Mayans even arrived. The Mayans learned about some of the secrets of the sounds and frequencies that are emanating from that location. Depending on where you're standing, you can hear different sounds. If you clap or make a certain noise, you can get different echoes back.
All of these are nodal points on a web or a matrix of energy across the Earth's surface that in the ancient traditions of the West was referred to as the net. And the people in ancient Egypt that knew how to work with this vibrational matrix were literally called in the documents from ancient Egypt the masters of the net.
Could it be that the masters of the net were leaving us a spiritual and technological blueprint for all ages?
If you look at the Teotihuacan pyramid complex in Mexico, right by Mexico City, you discover something amazing. First of all, they have the same exact alignment of the three pyramids at Giza by the Great Pyramid. The second thing is that the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan is exactly 50% of the height of the Great Pyramid located at Giza in Egypt. Also, what's amazing is the base of the Pyramid of the Sun is exactly the same exact size as the base of the Great Pyramid at Giza. So what does this tell us? It tells us that it's the same architect. The same architect that built the Great Pyramid complex at Giza is the same exact architect that designed the Teotihuacan Pyramid complex.
Who were the masters of the net? And where do we find them in the ancient texts?
Biblically, we have the story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho.
Joshua, who is the successor of Moses, who was trained in all the wisdom of the Egyptians, has an extraordinary way of bringing down these walls. The Lord tells him to have his warriors walk around the perimeter of the walls of Jericho once a day for 6 days. They're following 7 priests who have ram's horns in their hands, and they're also carrying the Ark of the Covenant. And he tells them that on the 7th day, they are all to walk around the walls of Jericho 7 times, while the priests simultaneously blow a long blast with their horns.
And then at one point they gave a great shout, and the walls came down.
What that tells us is that they're walking in unison, they're shouting in unison, and there must have been a consciousness component as well. And with that sound, they're able then to bring down the walls of Jericho.
The ancient people possibly had a way to reach sympathetic resonance with each other and with a given material, such as stone, and its particular density, which is also a frequency.
If they knew the correct resonant frequency of whatever made up the walls, they could have conceptually used sound in that manner.
The Bible makes clear that it wasn't the Ark of the Covenant that brought down those walls. It was the power of sound and the unified consciousness of the soldiers and the priests.
Conspiracy can mean a secret plan, often negatively oriented. But the actual breakdown of the word in Latin, conspire, means to breathe together. So anytime people do singing groups together, chanting mantras or praying together, visualizing together, dancing together, this is a kind of conspiracy. Anything powerful can be used to heal or to harm.
The masters of the net may remain a mystery for the ages, but perhaps it's possible to decode the messages they left behind. Including the principle of sympathetic resonance.
Resonance is a very important principle that has to do with how things self-organize into collective behaviors.
If enough people come together and they actually are able to use their vocal cords to create the same frequency, whether it's the Om, the primordial Om, or another type of a frequency chant or a mantra, those frequencies can resonate together in a way where eventually they can actually move solid objects.
Ultimately, understanding these principles of resonance and sympathetic resonance can allow us to actually understand how to build very advanced technology, instruments, musical instruments you can think of, that are resonating in the proper configuration so that they produce a sympathetic resonance frequency to this fundamental energetic field of space and time. And when you have that, it's like you've logged on to the structure of space and the universal internet.